Have you ever wondered why enlightenment feels so distant, yet Zen masters insist it's right here, in this very moment? Perhaps you've caught glimpses of it, that profound peace in a quiet morning, or the sudden clarity when your mind finally stills. Imagine standing at the edge of a crystal-clear lake. The surface ripples with countless thoughts, desires, and worries, but beneath these waves lies an infinite depth of stillness, your true nature, waiting to be recognized. This is the heart of Zen's surprising message. Enlightenment isn't a distant peak to climb, but a reality to remember. In this journey together, we'll uncover why the ancient Zen masters chose simplicity over complexity, and how their radical approach to enlightenment remains uniquely relevant in our overcomplicated world. You'll discover practical wisdom that transforms ordinary moments into gateways of profound insight, and learn why the path to peace might be far simpler than you've been led to believe. Let's explore how the gentle art of letting go can reveal more than a lifetime of seeking, and why your next breath might hold the very essence of enlightenment itself. Picture yourself walking through a traditional Japanese garden, where each carefully placed stone and meticulously pruned branch serves not as mere decoration, but as a living metaphor for the universe itself. This is the essence of Zen's tranquil philosophy, where profound truth reveals itself not through complex theological systems, but through the elegant simplicity of direct experience. At its heart, Zen emerges from a revolutionary insight that our relentless search for enlightenment often becomes the very obstacle preventing us from recognizing it. Imagine a fish swimming frantically through the ocean, desperately searching for water. We might smile at this absurd image, yet how often do we mirror this fish, seeking peace everywhere, except where it actually resides, in our own immediate experience? The tranquility of Zen isn't about adding something to your life. It's about removing the veils that obscure what's already here. Consider how a clouded sky doesn't actually create clouds, it simply reveals them. In the same way, Zen suggests that our natural state is already complete, already enlightened. The practice isn't about becoming something new, but about unbecoming everything that isn't authentically you. This philosophy manifests in seemingly paradoxical teachings. Zen masters might strike their students with a stick at the moment of deepest questioning, or respond to profound philosophical inquiries with remarks about the weather. These aren't acts of evasion, but direct pointing to the truth that lies beyond intellectual understanding. It's like trying to describe the taste of water. The more words we use, the further we get from the direct experience of drinking. The tranquility of Zen emerges from its radical embrace of the ordinary. Every act, whether washing dishes, arranging flowers, or simply breathing, becomes an opportunity for profound realization. This isn't about turning mundane activities into spiritual performances. Rather, it's about recognizing that the sacred isn't separate from the everyday. The enlightenment we seek is already expressing itself through every moment of our lives, if only we have eyes to see it. Consider the Zen story of the monk who spent years meditating in search of enlightenment. One day, while sweeping the temple grounds, a small stone flew up and struck a bamboo with a sharp crack. In that ordinary sound, everything he had been seeking suddenly revealed itself. The story points to a crucial truth. Awakening often comes not through extraordinary experiences, but through a radical shift in how we perceive the ordinary. This philosophy challenges our conventional approach to spiritual growth. Instead of accumulating more knowledge, techniques, or experiences, Zen invites us to strip away our assumptions about what enlightenment should look like. It's like cleaning a window. The goal isn't to add anything, but to remove what obscures the clear view that's already there. The tranquility of Zen isn't a passive state of withdrawal, but an active engagement with life exactly as it is. It's the peace that comes not from escaping our experience, but from fully inhabiting it. Every challenge, every emotion, every thought becomes not an obstacle to overcome, but an expression of the very awakening we seek. Beneath the gentle branches of a Bodhi tree in ancient India, a profound silence was born, one that would echo through centuries and eventually crystallize into what we now know as Zen. Our story begins not with complex philosophical treatises, but with a simple smile, the famous flower sermon, where Buddha held up a single lotus, and his disciple Mahakashyapa understood everything in that wordless gesture. Picture yourself standing at the crossroads of time, where the rushing waters of Indian spirituality meet the steady, contemplative streams of Chinese wisdom. Here, In this convergence, we find Bodhidharma, the legendary monk who crossed treacherous mountains and vast deserts to bring Dharma to China. Legend tells us he spent 9 years in silent meditation facing a cave wall, not as an act of ascetic denial, but as a radical demonstration of direct pointing to the human mind. The transmission of Zen weaves through history like a golden thread, each generation adding its unique hue while maintaining the essential brilliance. In China, it flourished under the Chan masters who developed a distinctive approach to awakening, one that often manifested in surprising ways. Imagine standing in a medieval Chinese monastery where a master might answer a profound question about Buddha nature by chopping a cat in half, a teaching story not literal, shocking students out of their intellectual complacency into direct realization. As Zen flowed into Japan like water finding its natural course, it encountered the aesthetic sensibilities of Japanese culture and transformed yet again. Under masters like Dogen Zenji, who returns from China with a revolutionary understanding, Zen takes on its most refined form. Dogen's insight was radical in its simplicity. The practice of Zazen isn't a means to enlightenment. It is enlightenment itself expressing itself through human form. Consider how a river carves its path through the landscape, not by force but by persistent, gentle flow. Similarly, Zen's historical journey wasn't about imposing new ideas, but about revealing what was already present in each culture it touched. In Japan, this manifested in the development of arts like the tea ceremony, calligraphy, and rock gardens, each one a mirror reflecting the fundamental truth of immediacy and presence. The historical foundations of Zen teach us something profound about the nature of transmission itself. Unlike other traditions that carefully preserve texts and commentaries, Zen's emphasis on direct experience created a unique lineage of heart-to-heart transmission. Picture a flame being passed from candle to candle. Each flame is new, yet carries the same essential light. This mind-to-mind transmission challenges our modern obsession with historical accuracy and written documentation. It suggests that the truest history isn't found in books, but in the living experience of practice itself. When you sit in Zazen today, you're not just imitating an ancient form, you're participating in the same awakening that sparked beneath that Bodhi tree thousands of years ago. What makes this historical journey particularly relevant for us today is how it demonstrates the adaptability of truth. As Zen moved through different cultures and times, it maintained its essential insight while speaking in voices that each generation could hear. It's like water taking the shape of whatever vessel contains it while never losing its fundamental nature. In the gentle dimness of a meditation hall, a single bell rings. Bodies settle into stillness like leaves floating to rest on a quiet pond. This is Zazen, not just a practice, but what Dogen called the Dharma gate of great ease and joy. Let's explore why this seemingly simple act of sitting contains the entire universe within it. Imagine yourself taking your seat on the meditation cushion. Your spine rises from the earth like a mountain. Your breath flows like wind through valleys. Your consciousness opens like the vast sky. This isn't poetic metaphor. It's the literal truth of your existence revealing itself through the vessel of your own body. In Zazen, we're not trying to achieve anything. We're allowing everything to achieve itself through us. The genius of Zazen lies in its radical simplicity. Unlike elaborate visualization practices or complex philosophical contemplations, Zazen asks only that we sit with ourselves completely. It's as if we've been running around our house searching for our glasses, only to discover they've been resting on our nose the whole time. The very act of stopping our search becomes the finding. Consider how a muddy pond naturally clarifies when left undisturbed. Our minds work the same way. In Zazen, we're not trying to force thoughts away or manufacture some special state of consciousness. Instead, we're creating the conditions for our natural clarity to reveal itself. Each breath becomes a bridge between form and emptiness, each moment a doorway into the infinite. But let's be honest, this simplicity can feel excruciating at first. Our minds rebel like untamed horses, charging after thoughts, memories, plans, and dreams. This too is Zazen. Every itch, every wandering thought, every moment of frustration is not an obstacle to practice, but the very field of practice itself. It's like learning to surf. We don't try to control the ocean. We learn to dance with its waves. The traditional instruction for Zazen includes thinking of not thinking. This beautiful paradox points to something profound. a way of being that transcends both engagement and withdrawal. Imagine holding a mirror up to the sky. It naturally reflects everything without clinging to anything. Your consciousness in Zazen becomes like this mirror, intimately present with everything while attached to nothing. What makes Zazen revolutionary is its insistence that this simple act of sitting is not preparation for enlightenment. It is enlightenment itself expressing itself through human form. Every moment on the cushion is complete, perfect, and whole, whether we realize it or not. It's like the sun. It doesn't become more or less the sun based on whether clouds obscure it from our view. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, not to the harsh buzz of your alarm, but to the realization that every moment of your day is an opportunity for enlightenment. This isn't spiritual fantasy, it's the lived reality that Zen's practical integration offers us. Like morning dew appearing naturally on grass, wisdom manifests in the most ordinary moments of our lives. Consider the ancient Zen master Hyakujo, who, even in his 80s, would work alongside his monks in the garden. When concerned students hid his tools, hoping to force him to rest, he responded by refusing to eat. "A day without work," he said, "is a day without food." This isn't just a story about work ethic. It's a profound teaching about the inseparability of spiritual practice and daily life. In Japanese monasteries, every activity becomes a field of practice, a concept called samu, or work practice. Picture a monk sweeping the temple grounds. The broom moves rhythmically across stone, gathering fallen leaves. Is this maintenance work or meditation? In Zen, this duality dissolves completely. The sweep of the broom becomes the sweep of consciousness itself, each movement a dance of form and emptiness. This integration manifests beautifully in the Japanese tea ceremony, or chanoyu. Watch how the tea master turns each gesture into a portal to the infinite. The precise angle of the bamboo scoop, the way steam rises from the bowl, the sound of water being poured. These aren't just aesthetic flourishes. They're demonstrations of how complete attention transforms ordinary actions into expressions of enlightened activity. But how does this translate into our modern lives, filled with smartphones, deadline pressures, and digital notifications? The genius of Zen is that it doesn't ask us to escape these realities, but to penetrate them completely. That email you're writing, it's no different from a Zen master's calligraphy. That meeting you're attending, it's your tea ceremony. The morning commute becomes your walking meditation. Consider the practice of oryoki, the ritualized eating practice in Zen monasteries. Every bite is taken with full awareness, every utensil handled with precise care. Now imagine bringing even a fraction of that attention to your lunch break. Suddenly, a sandwich eaten at your desk becomes an opportunity for profound communion with the present moment. Here's the revolutionary truth. Integration doesn't mean adding something special to ordinary activities. Instead, it means removing the artificial boundary between spiritual and mundane. When you're washing dishes, just wash dishes. When you're sending an email, just send an email. This complete investment in the present activity, free from the ghost of past regrets or future anxieties, is itself enlightened action. Think of it like learning to play music. At first, we consciously practice scales and techniques, but true mastery emerges when we forget about practicing and simply play. Similarly, the highest form of Zen practice is when we forget we're practicing at all. We simply live, fully and completely, in each moment as it arises. Imagine standing at the edge of time itself, where the rushing river of moments flows eternally into the vast ocean of now. This isn't mere poetry. It's the lived reality that Zen points us toward, where the present moment reveals itself as the only true dwelling place we've ever had. Let's dive deep into this profound understanding that has the power to revolutionize our entire existence. Picture yourself holding a glass prism up to sunlight. Just as the prism reveals the spectrum hidden within pure light, our minds typically split the seamless flow of existence into past, present, and future. But what if this division, so fundamental to our experience, is actually an illusion? What if, like the apparently separate colors of the rainbow, these divisions of time are simply mental constructs obscuring the unified nature of reality? The Zen approach to present moment awareness differs radically from our conventional understanding of living in the now. It's not about forcing ourselves to focus on the present or suppressing thoughts of past and future. Rather, it's about recognizing that we've never actually left the present moment. We couldn't if we tried. Even our memories of the past and anticipations of the future are happening now, arising like waves in the vast ocean of present awareness. Consider the story of the Zen master who was being chased by a tiger. Running through the mountains, he came to a cliff edge. Seeing a vine growing down the cliff face, he grabbed it and began climbing down. Halfway down, he noticed another tiger waiting at the bottom. Looking up, the first tiger still prowled above. As if this weren't enough, two mice, one black, one white, began gnawing at the vine. At that moment, the master noticed a wild strawberry growing from a crack in the cliff face. Reaching out, he plucked it and ate it, exclaiming, "How sweet." This story isn't about positive thinking or making the best of a bad situation. It points to something far more profound. The absolute reality of the present moment transcends all circumstances. The master's appreciation of the strawberry wasn't an escape from his predicament, but a complete embracing of life exactly as it is. Tigers, mice, and all. The practice of present moment awareness in Zen goes beyond mere attention to physical sensations or mental states. It's about discovering what Dogen called the time being, the fundamental inseparability of time and existence. When we truly enter the present moment, we're not entering a slice of time between past and future. We're touching the timeless dimension that contains and transcends all temporal divisions. This understanding manifests in surprising ways. Consider how we typically experience waiting, for a bus, in a queue, for our coffee to brew. We tend to see these moments as empty gaps to be endured until the real event begins. But from the Zen perspective, waiting itself is life expressing itself fully. The sound of rain while waiting for the bus, the rhythm of breath while standing in line, the aroma of coffee brewing. Each sensation is complete, requiring nothing to be added or taken away. Modern neuroscience has begun to validate what Zen practitioners have known for centuries. Our experience of time is intimately connected with our state of consciousness. When we're fully present, time seems to expand or dissolve entirely. It's as if our ordinary time-bound consciousness is a contracted state, and presence allows us to touch the timeless dimension that's always here. The revolutionary insight of Zen is that enlightenment isn't a future state to be achieved, but the natural condition of being fully present. Every moment carries the possibility of awakening, not because something new is added to it, but because presence reveals what's already here. It's like the sun emerging from behind clouds. The sun was always shining, only our perception of it changed. This brings us to a practical question. How do we live this understanding? The answer lies not in trying to maintain constant awareness, which would be another form of seeking, but in recognizing that awareness is our natural state. Like the sky that remains unchanged whether clouds pass through it or not, our essential nature of presence remains constant beneath the coming and going of thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Like the gentle settling of leaves after a wind has passed, we've journeyed through the essential landscapes of Zen wisdom together, from the tranquil foundations of its philosophy to the revolutionary simplicity of living fully in the present moment. We've uncovered a path that's both ancient and eternally new. Remember, the enlightenment you seek isn't hidden in some distant mountain monastery or locked away in esoteric teachings. It's right here, in this breath, in the sensation of your fingers touching your screen, in the subtle awareness reading these words. The practices we've explored, from formal Zazen to the mindful integration of daily activities, are not steps towards some future awakening, but invitations to recognize what's already here. If you've resonated with this journey into Zen wisdom, consider this your invitation to take the next step. Subscribe to join our growing community of practitioners and seekers, where we'll continue exploring these profound teachings together. Each week, we'll dive deeper into practical applications of Zen in modern life, sharing insights, challenges, and discoveries along the way. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might benefit from discovering the surprising simplicity of Zen. Drop a comment below sharing your own experience with meditation or mindfulness. Your insight might be exactly what another seeker needs to hear.